So after that big piece of news that I just discussed a few hours ago, looks like we have even more to talk about. Truly is a Transformer Thursday in a lot of ways. We didn't get a Transformer Tuesday. We got kind of a wheelie Wednesday. And now we got a whole bunch of stuff here to talk about. We got one very blurry image of something, and then we have a whole bunch of listings, and then we got some more information in relation to San Diego Comic-Con and a big reveal. So let's jump into that. First thing we're going to talk about is a visual. Earth Entertainment, they're going to have a booth at San Diego Comic-Con. And previously in the past, Earth Entertainment has done what are known as convention ribbons. And for people who aren't familiar with what convention ribbons are, there's kind of like a subculture in that. Essentially, you have your main badge that you wear when you go to conventions. We have them for TFCon. We have them for a lot of other conventions, BotCon in the past too. And initially, what convention ribbons were for is if you had someone who was a volunteer, you would have an extra ribbon sticker that was put at the bottom of that volunteer, of that badge, to kind of say, oh, they're a volunteer. So you could kind of, give them access to other areas. But through time, the convention ribbons have also served other purposes, identifying what fandom you're part of or what your screen name is, or even just putting a meme on it or something. So convention ribbons have kind of evolved into a whole bunch of different other subcultures and ways to kind of show your fandom. And Entertainment Earth in the past have done this kind of thing too, where when they're revealing brand new product or when they're giving away stuff, sometimes they would give little convention ribbons in relation to that stuff, whether it be G.I. Joe or Transformers or Power Rangers or whatever, even Pop Vinyl they've done. So here's another example of that. And this time around, the convention ribbon that they're giving away actually also is kind of a first time we're seeing an example of this figure. Now, we knew that about this figure many months ago when we had those leaked Generation Selects listings for late 2022. The infamous DK-3, which, some people are like, oh, is it Nintendo Donkey Kong related? Is it this? Is it that? But the sharper minds in the Transformer fandom, and I've talked about this in the past in previous segments, DK-3 was the designation of the Diachron blue repaint of Trailbreaker in the Diachron line, not Diaclone, the Western translated import of Diaclone. So it was just a blue Trailbreaker. Easiest way to kind of explain it. And so no surprise, we predicted it all the way back then, and no surprise today, it is indeed a blue Trailbreaker. But judging by this image, and granted this image is extremely small, and as a result, blowing it up and sharpening it as best as I can, I mean, the image you're literally looking at on the screen here is probably as big as it's going to get, even actual size to the screen that you're holding, be it iPad or, PC screen. It looks like it's a repaint retool of the Earthrise Trailbreaker. It looks like there's a brand new head sculpt on there with more of a battle mask. And I can't confirm it, but his rear window, shield cover, whatever you want to call the back part of his camper, looks like it's missing the window, like it was sculpted out or something. So, I mean, but I could be wrong. The images is very tough to tell. It doesn't look like there's anything else different, same weapon and everything. But it looks like at least the face is different. More of, I guess we could say more of a toy-accurate kind of face, because Trailbreaker had a mouth in the Sunbow TV show of Marvel. What is technically Marvel? Sunbow Marvel Generation 1 cartoon. He had a mouth, which was, the toy obviously didn't have a mouth. So doing something that's more toy accurate gets rid of the mouth, but then that makes it more accurate to the DK-3 Diachrone. Sure, why not? It works. Awesome. So this is kind of the first look we have of that. Chances are we'll probably be seeing a Generation Selects reveal and pre-order in the very near future as a result of that. But again, stay tuned for that. And again, according to, Entertainment Earth, they do giveaways at their booth, and they give away these convention ribbons and pins and all kinds of stuff. And on Thursday, they will be giving away convention ribbons of DK-3. Show your Transformer fandom through a blue Trailbreaker. Next up, we have a whole bunch of listings courtesy of JT Prime 17. Now, these were listings that we knew about, again, also many months ago, easily almost more than half a year to a year ago. But these are more updates to these listings because they give more information than what we had originally. So the one that we already kind of knew is the Dead End. We're going to get a Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Dead End. No surprise, another member of the Stunticons. They got to complete it to do their Menasor. So that's the least exciting of the bunch and the one that we knew, and there's no new information. But the other two, there's kind of some new information with that. Number one, we have a Deluxe Skullgrin. Now, originally when we got a listing of a Skullgrin, it was in the core class. It was supposed to be Wave 3 was going to have a core class Skullgrin, along with, I think it was a repack of Skywarp and a Energon monster, which we still don't know the identity of. And I'm going to get into that with the identity in a moment from some updates here. But so now it's a Deluxe class. So I guess maybe either there's going to be a Skullgrin in both price points, which I don't really think so. It could be that there was a mistake and someone thought it was going to be core class, but it's actually Deluxe class for this character, which is more possible. And then there's the whole thing also, according to JT Prime 17, the product code on this Skullgrin actually matches up with the Deluxe class Energon monster product code. So there is a possibility that the Energon monster might have been a placeholder name and everything we've been reading into up to this point. Oh, it's going to be Kremzik or something. Maybe Energon because of all the Energon weapons that are being used in this line, and Monster because, you know, he's a monster pretender in a sense. He's not like an official monster pretender that's part of Monstructor, but he's one of those beastie, monstery kind of pretenders of that normal pretender scale that existed back in the day. What he was known as Daros in Master Force. And that's kind of the thing too, because this isn't the first time we've had a Deluxe class Skullgrin done as a toy. We had one back in 2010 with the Generations line. And then, of course, we got that little, you know, Power of the Primes, Prime Master Skullgrin in 2018. But this might be another example of, you know, Evan and Mark trying to complete our collections and having yet again another Master Force character. Yeah, he's also a Pretender shell called Skullgrin, but it doubles as Daros from Super God Master Force. So more Master Force action to join your Metal Hawk. To join, and actually he's be a good rival to Metal Hawk too, because they were rivals. Oh, Japan's gonna love this. Japan is gonna love this. But he was kind of like the leader of the bad guy pretenders in a lot of ways. So that kind of works. It works. I like it. I like it. And the last one we have here, again, we knew we were going to be getting a Pointblank. We knew that there was something about it. We were going to be getting a Pointblank in Wave 4 of the Deluxes. What we didn't know is what it was going to entail in terms of, is he going to be a repaint retool? Is he going to be a new mold or something? This kind of tells me more that he might be a brand new mold. Primarily because it says here that it's Deluxe Pointblank with Autobot Peacemaker, aka what was the name of his original Targetmaster. Now, in the past, when we would get a Targetmaster included with our Transformers, and when I mean in the past, War for Cybertron era, they were including a Battlemaster, and they would bump up the price point so it wouldn't be a Deluxe, and it would be in that almost Voyager kind of spectrum of pricing. Once in a while, we could get a Targetmaster included if there is a shared budget between those two toys, the Targetmaster and the bulk figure, that it could work out. Best case scenario, something like Cyclonus from the old Universe 2.0 line where he came with Nightstick, his Targetmaster. They were able to work out something there that could be in a Deluxe price point. What I think's happening here is, by including Peacemaker, Peacemaker isn't going to be just some repaint retool of a Siege toy, because it's still going to be $23.99, aka the new price point for our Deluxe assortment. So I think that this is going to be a brand new mold, and this brand new mold is going to be tooled in such a way that it fits the budget, that it could be a bulk figure and have a Targetmaster. Maybe the Targetmaster is going to be kind of lacking. Maybe it won't have blast effects to also kind of keep the budget down, but they'll probably figure out something in order to do that. Because, I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you, if you would have not told me what the price point is of Peacemaker, I would have thought, okay, they're going to do an extensive retool of Hot Rod, because not of Peacemaker, of Pointblank. They're going to do an extensive retool of Hot Rod, because if you look at, you know, Pointblank's design, especially his original Generation 1 toy, and just how he looks as a figure, you could, there's the DNA of Hot Rod in there that you could kind of pull off, you know, the spoiler and the general shape and everything. So it could be done. Even more so that Sakamoto made some digital mock-ups of Titan's Return Hot Rod into Pointblank at one point, because even he thought, like, yeah, that could work, you know? So I would have thought, oh, you use that Hot Rod, which is a Voyager class, and then instead of using the accessories that Hot Rod comes with, the guns, the blade, the matrix, you include a Siege repaint into Peacemaker, his Targetmaster. But because he's a deluxe, that whole theory goes out the window. There's, clearly this is something that they're going to have to tool from the ground up and make something brand new. But it's still rather interesting, and I think Pointblank is an awesome character. He's one of the few really good things of the Headmasters anime. Headmasters anime, I think, is the weakest of the Takara 3, not counting Zone. Zone is also pretty awesome, but he's not part of the 3 series. Master Force being the best, a close second place is Victory, and a very distant third is Headmasters. It has its moments. There's some cool moments, some cool vocal music, fantastic intro. But at the end of the day, it kind of dragged a little bit. But he was one of those shining moments. Really cool character. Love him a lot. And he hated Wheelie long before it was hip to hate Wheelie. He hated Wheelie back in 1987, so that was kind of funny too. Not a fan of Wheelie, Pointblank. Anyways, looking forward to him. That's another cool one. I love that character. He's definitely up there in like my top 20 of Transformer characters of all time. Definitely fits in there. Last piece of news is just a quick mention by Hasbro of what they're going to be doing with their panels for San Diego Comic-Con. And they mentioned how they're going to have a panel celebrating the 15th anniversary of the movie line, talking about Studio Series in relation to that 15th anniversary. We already talked about the 15th anniversary box set with Studio Series, so they're going to do panels about that. They're going to be talking about Legacy and Earthspark and all the new product with that. And then they even said here, and this is the key part, the Hasbro panel will also share a sneak peek at some of the biggest Transformer product reveals of the year. So I think that the big thing too is we might see some Rise of the Beast stuff, because if you go to SDCC, you got to show off your toys that are related to media properties. It would be absolutely tone deaf not to do that. So I'm pretty sure there's also going to be some Rise of the Beast stuff. Already we're seeing Rise of the Beast stuff in packaging. It's starting to leak out there with instructions. It's only a matter of time now, guys. Here it is. Let's check it out. Let's get excited about it. Anyways, let me know what you think. Pretty cool stuff otherwise. Hopefully that's it for the news today. Could be wrong. We still got Friday tomorrow. We're going to have a stream on Saturday. It's looking good already for a Transformer week, don't you think? Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you again real soon.